And we're back. Welcome back to the Let's Not Do This podcast on Thursday, May 8th, year of our Lord, 2025. You got the big O, Leon Oliver, sitting alongside Scotty Too Hottie. Chris is not here this evening. Chris is actually at the Vatican. He has been selected as the next Pope.
Yeah. He is an American. Maybe it is.
He is. He very well is. Can you imagine would everyone just leave Catholicism or organized religion in general if Chris was the Pope? If Chris was involved in any religion, like if he was Gandhi, if he was a mullah, if he was anything, I imagine people would just leave religion.
Don't make me trash religion already. Start the show. They will follow anything, so no.
Yeah.
It would just look vastly different.
Yeah. Chris would be a great snake handler, That would be the religion for him, snake handling. So
he does that every night.
I don't think they call it a snake. More like a worm. But anyway, Chris isn't here. He's on work release or something like that. I don't know. But the show would be better for not having him, as it always is. So make sure to send him hate mail. That's Chris at let's not do this podcast.com. You can send him hate mail there and tell him how you feel about him. But Scotty, I'm glad that you're here. We got a lot of things to get to, a little NBA playoff action, because I'm well up to speed on that. We have a new Pope, apparently. I just learned that like 20 minutes ago. Had no idea. So good for the people that are rooting for that. Hopefully, if you had the American Pope, you got the plus odds on that one. And
he's from Chicago.
Oh, yeah. And I see the Big Ten people are already trying to claim the Pope. Apparently, he's a Villanova guy, but he's from Chicago. So Big Ten Twitter, and I learned that was such a thing. Big Ten Twitter is already trying to claim him. They're trying to go manifest destiny on this new Pope. You can't just claim him. Everyone's already doing the Big Ten commercial, where they show all the campuses and go across country and it pops up on the map. They're like, oh, you got to put like a Pope hat in Chicago. And it's like, no, you got to put like a hospital in Chicago with the violence, but not a Pope hat. You can't claim him. He's a Villanova guy. So.
Yeah, I've enjoyed all the memes and there's a meme going around saying Chicago got a Pope before a 4,000-yard passer. That's pretty good.
The lovely and talented
photoshopped.
Go on.
I did see him photoshopped into that commercial with all the Villanova guys. Is it an AT&T commercial, maybe?
I think it was AT&T.
And Bridges and all them,
Yeah. The lovely and talented Annie Agar had that very funny post I saw about the 4,000 yards and the Pope and the Bears. So apparently he's a Cubs fan too. So he's got that going for him. That guy's been through a lot of hurt in his life. But if I've learned anything about religion, I guess there's a certain amount of suffering you have to go through that you come out better on the other side. So maybe he'll be a better Pope because he suffered as a Bears fan and as a Cubs fan. Maybe. Is Big Cat the Pope? That's the only like other Bear and Cub fan I know. I don't know a lot of people from Chicago. Could be Big Cat.
I wish he was.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Loosen up some of these sports betting laws in Virginia.
Yeah, the gambling Pope. All right, but yeah, we'll get into NBA playoffs. We got the favorites in the East, both of them in trouble right now, down 0-2 after being at home. We got a story about a raccoon running afoul of the law in the state of Ohio, which does not surprise me in the slightest. If someone said a raccoon got in trouble with drugs, you would think either Ohio or Florida. It's one of the two. So
yeah, maybe West Virginia. Oh, yeah. Probably Ohio, Florida.
West Virginia. I could see Kentucky possibly too, especially if the raccoon didn't have shoes, which they don't have shoes. But if they could afford shoes, if it lived in Kentucky, it wouldn't have shoes. And then also AI, bringing some celebrities back from the dead potentially. We'll talk about that as well. So make sure to stick around and check those things out. Also, make sure to give us a like and follow, subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime. Comment, follow, like, subscribe, all those good things help us continue to grow and hopefully put some money into this podcast so we can make it an even better product for you. But more importantly, someone's going to pay for all of Chris's strip club visits. So the company card is really getting maxed out right now.
That's where he's really at.
Yeah, pretty.
He's washing. He's washing dishes.
It's where are the Chippendales right now? I'm sure he's wherever they are right now, but he can't afford the real Chippendales, so it's like the Timu Chippendales. It's just like four average middle-aged dads in a driveway somewhere taking off their shirts. That's
No,
what he's watching.
it's Chip and Dale's. They're dressed up as the cartoon.
Yes, yes. Chippendales Rescue Rangers. All right. Well, somebody needs rescuing. It might be the Boston Celtics. Let's get into it and start. Boston down 0-2, down 2-0, I guess you would say, to the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals in the NBA. Scotty, of course, you know this is my area of expertise right here,
Yeah,
the National Basketball Association. But even I know Boston seems like they were steamrolling through the regular season. Um, what the hell is happening right now with the C's?
I'm gonna say my Orlando Magic just beat them up, tired them out because I really don't know. They've cost me money both games, and it kind of ended the same exact way. They go up. I think they had 20-point leads in each game. Game one, I had the over 213 and a half. Now, even though it went to overtime, it's the last possession. It's 108, 105, so it's at 213. You're down three. There's like 20 seconds left. Everybody knows you go down, either hit a quick three or the first open three or a quick two. That way you can play the foul game if you missed a three and go from there. Instead, they run the clock all the way down and end up not even getting the shot off. And the Knicks win. And I don't hit my over. And then last night, I was like, all right, Celtics are going to come out ready for business. They're not going to play around. I bet I think it was minus 10, 10 and a half for the Celtics. Looked good for three and a half quarters. And then the same shit. They're shooting too many threes, first of all. I think they get these big leads by shooting these threes, and then they forget that, sometimes you have to play physical. Again, my Orlando Magic beat them up. But the same thing, the Knicks come back. I forget how much time, but it was time to go down and get a shot off and potentially foul if you miss. Was it 7, 8, 10 seconds, something like that?
Something like that.
They go down the court. Yeah. Tatum's dribbling around again, running the clock down. And again, they don't even get a shot off. I just don't understand what they're doing at the end of the game. Regardless if, live by the three, die by the three. They're finally starting to die by the three. That's one thing. But just to keep back-to-back nights, just not even get a shot off at the end. I don't know. I think it's maybe arrogance. It's like, we're just going to get the last shot and we're going to make it, is what it feels like to me. And it's not how you play in NBA. Maybe in college, about the NBA. And yeah, so I don't know.
These late game collapses for Boston. I was going around online and I saw this stat earlier. FanDuel Sportsbook, I believe, actually put that out on a Instagram post. But time leading in the series so far, Boston's led for 81 minutes and 4 seconds. The Knicks just for 12-15. But the Knicks are up 2-0 right now in the series. I mean, if you hadn't seen one single second of any of these games, that just tells you right there, Boston is had trouble closing these games out down the stretch. And in fact, looking at the win predictability here, look at this. It's
that looks like my Texas Tech bet in the Elite Eight. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, and I think their first lead last night was the final score. I think that was their first lead, or either that or I know it was super late.
In my astute basketball analysis, because everyone knows I'm NBA super fan 99. Is it just me, or does Boston appear to kind of like? I think you might have hit on this a little bit, kind of danced around it. It seems like they have a lack of urgency and maybe some lack of energy. This looks like they came into the series underestimating the Knicks and, kind of thinking they were just going to sleepwalk their way all the way through to the finals. And you can't really do that against a Tibbs coach team. They play like every possession matters. New York does. And it just seems like that hasn't clicked with Boston. They thought they were going to show up because of the regular season that they had, because of the names that are on the front and the back of their jerseys. And Knicks were just going to roll over and let them pet their belly. And it hasn't happened.
Yeah, it does kind of appear that way. Even going back to the regular season, there was a big matchup with the Cavs. I think the Cavs had beat them 2 or 3 times in the regular season, and they were the number one seed, which they still are, and so it was kind of billed as a big game late in the season. Within the first 5 or 6 minutes, I think it was like 25-4 or something crazy like that, and Jason Tatum's all hyped and motioned to the crowd to get them out of here, talking about the Cavs like the game was over already, and immediately the Cavs storm back and win. So I don't know if they just get up by these big margins and think they have it and can't turn it back on. But I mean, they got to change that. Otherwise, if you're the Knicks, just hey, give them the first quarter, and then we got them where we want them. Like, weren't they ever going to be able to turn that off where they can get a big lead and like stay in sense and stay in the game? Yeah, it is an issue, and then Tatum just hasn't been at the end of games settling for threes or taking like a lackluster fadeaway that looks like it has no shot or not even getting the shot off. So I don't know if they're going back to not knowing who their go-to player is, because Jaylen Brown hasn't been doing much in the fourth quarter either. I don't know, a lot of questions. But they could very well come out game 3 in New York and finally get something lit underneath them and come out and win the next 4. But let's see. Game 3, obviously, it's a must-win for Boston. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I'm glad you said that. First of all, talk about the must win for Boston. I actually saw this online earlier where Shaq actually kind of said Game 3 is a must win for the Knicks, and I kind of agree with that sentiment here. If you're them and you're playing with house money essentially, right? You're up 2-0. You're going home. You have your fans behind you. And we've seen, Knick fans, every goddamn game they win, they run out in the street, they take things over. It's like they won the Super Bowl or the World Series or Stanley Cup, everything all in one after every playoff win. But they go out there, they got a raucous crowd. They've been dying for this. They've been waiting for this. I get it. But you're up 2-0. You're playing with house money. You go home. No one's expecting you to be there. They're kind of expecting Boston to kind of wake up finally and come back in this series. I kind of agree with Shaq, where it's like, if you're going to win this series, you have to win this one because you can't let Boston get that momentum going. You kind of have to step on their neck, put them down 3-0, and literally put them right at the edge of the roof to push them off. What do you think? Or do you still feel like it's a must win for Boston just because you can't go down 3-0?
Yeah, it's a must win for Boston. I don't think he's really calling it. I didn't hear the quote, but I don't know, I think he's more saying if they win this game, then it's over, and if they lose, then Boston gets some momentum. But if it was 1-1, Shaq wouldn't be saying this, so you can't say it if they're up 2-0. I see what he's saying. Let Boston get one, then you're in trouble. But no, they lose game 3, they could win game 4, then they're up 3-1 with just needing to win one more. But yeah, it's not a must win for for the Knicks. Obviously, you need to treat it like a game you need to win, because going up 3-0 as an underdog is a lot better than 2-1. But no, it's not a must win. I do think Boston will come out and win, but I felt that for the first 2 games. Yeah, we'll see.
In my research and looking into this, one thing I've kind of noticed is Jason Tatum. You mentioned it, in big moments, he's put up numbers, but he hasn't like taken over games when it really counts. Like one thing about Kobe, one thing about MJ, when the game's on the line, I'm not comparing him to those guys, but I'm just saying when the game's on the line, when it's a big time moment, they're going to come through. They're going to step on your throat. They're going to take it over, and you just kind of really haven't seen that so far in this series. The talent's there, but the assertiveness necessarily hasn't matched the stakes of the series.
Yeah, very lackadaisical for sure. Like I said, first quarter they come out hot, and then yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
just fizzles out.
Maybe being on the road in New York will wake them up, which it could.
Well, I pray for our dear friend Michael Biseglia, of course, good friend of the program, host of the co-host of the Bad Weather Fans podcast with him and his buddy Alex. Of course, one's a Knicks fan, one's a Nets fan. Poor Mike, I think, hates the Knicks more than anything in the history of Western civilization. So I know he is definitely losing a lot of sleep over this right now. So let's all say a prayer for him. Maybe I'll get the Pope to say a prayer for one Michael Biseglia. I didn't have to talk about this on the Knicks Next podcast. I'm sure he's losing a lot of hair and a lot of sleep right now.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is interesting though that the books have it, at least as of yesterday. I haven't looked today. The Knicks are still just minus 120 to win the series. The Celtics even money. So
Right.
the people that know still thinks it can go either way. But yeah, game
Well,
3 will be interesting for sure.
well, one thing that was interesting was yesterday the Knicks fans did not want to leave TD Garden in Boston. Have you seen this clip of the Knicks fans after the game?
No, but I can only imagine Knicks
Yeah.
fans with a good team is scary.
This was going around online. Dave Portnoy actually shared this too. It was like we just can't lose the series to like these people or something like that. It was along those lines. But let's take a look here.
Security! Help! Help! Get them out! Get them man out! Get them man out now! Get them man out right now! Get them
But yes, I feel bad for that poor Karen who was just trying so
Well,
hard to
she
get them out.
obviously knows nothing about Knicks fans because that is the exact opposite way to get them to want to leave.
Yes, yes. Maybe she was handing out books or something because I don't think many of them can read. She would have had more success. I'm joking, Knicks fans. I don't know anything about you. I'm just looking out for Mike here. But no, yeah, she clearly her tone, the approach. Everything was wrong. She had like a credential on, so clearly she works there. I'm sure she's encountered Islander fans there from hockey games or Ranger fans, Flyer fans, whatever. I'm sure she's encountered other Rockies fan groups. This was not her first rodeo. They're dealing with this. Though, you know what? At least she didn't go the route of the Pirates usher. Did
You
you?
got the video?
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for it. I
That,
like how the one lady's calling for security. It's like his security.
yeah.
What they didn't show there is the guy spits on him right before that. So
Yeah.
it was all deserved. But at least they're winning in something.
Yeah.
In that
Well,
stadium.
someone got fired. I'm assuming that he got fired. I think he was suspended. He's going to get fired. The Pirates did fire their manager today, so somebody had to fall on the sword, I
Yeah.
guess. Bad,
I didn't see
bad
that.
baseball and bad customer service. Come to Pittsburgh, watch Paul Skeens, enjoy a beautiful ballpark, and get your ass whipped with a belt. You can tell that man had corporal punishment as a child. Mom and dad definitely did not spare the rod with him. He had like that old man like. You ever seen the Boondocks?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, like Grandpa like when he would threaten them with the belt on that show. He the wind up and stuff that he had. We're not condoning this, by the way. Let's not do this podcast. Does not condone violence. But if someone spits on you, swinging a belt maybe a equitable defense there. So
I think he was showing mercy with the belt. He probably was like, I'm going to kill this guy. I keep punching him in the face.
that is true. Old boy definitely ate those hands, man. I mean, his face looked like a tomato later on when it was done. It was just red everywhere. So, well, he put up more defense than the Cavaliers have at home. Cleveland, of course, they're in trouble as well, down 0-2 right now to the Indiana Pacers with Game 3 shifting back to. Doesn't people call Indiana Nap City? I think it was players used to call it that because like there's nothing to do in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know where you were going with that, but yeah, I do remember that. Remember that now.
But yeah, shifting back to
Like, what are you,
Indiana.
non-Imus? What is going on here?
Well, but yeah, one thing is, Scotty, it just kind of stood out to me. Donovan Mitchell's not getting help. he's doing what he can, but the rest of the cast, Garland and Mobley, they haven't stepped up offensively, and you can't win a playoff game with one guy
Well,
doing everything.
since you haven't been watching the NBA, Garland has not played this series yet, and Mobley was out for game 2.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
thought they were.
He's
I
got no
thought they
help.
were both playing. I think you're saying they're not. Well, yeah, they're not helping because they're
Yeah.
not playing. But Jared Allen had a good game. I know that because I didn't know. I thought Mobley and Garland were playing when I bet his unders last night. I see they're both out. Every other play, Jared Allen's getting the rebound or dunking the ball. But yeah, he hasn't been getting a lot of help. And just another one that the Cavs should have won, and Tyrese Halliburton in the clutch again. Misses a free throw, which isn't great, but somehow gets his own rebound and it's a crazy step back 3 to win the game. Yeah, I don't think he's overrated anymore. I think he has a weird shot, and he doesn't look conventional when he's any move he makes really. So I think maybe that's what gets him that overrated talk because it looks bad, especially if he misses a shot. You're like, what the fuck?
I'm glad
like
you said that.
Like a middle schooler.
I'm glad you said that because it kind of reminds me of the NFL with Phillip Rivers. Like Phillip Rivers always looked like he was doing a goddamn shot put, however he was throwing the football. But you know what? It worked. He was a pretty goddamn accurate passer. Had a great career for the San Diego Superchargers. Then later, we don't like to talk about that time in Indianapolis with the Colts. But, he had a great career. But, yeah, it just didn't look good. And I think a lot of people denigrated his game because it wasn't aesthetically pleasing.
That is a perfect example. Except for I'm looking up how many kids Tyrese Halliburton has. just one son. So the comparisons stop on the field. But yeah, that is a perfect.
Tyrese Halliburton doesn't have like a big Madden Cruiser bus that he commutes back and forth to the stadium with either. And Phillip Rivers' dad never tried to fight a opposing player either. So that I guess is where the comparison stopped there. Is Halliburton's dad allowed in the arena for these games?
I think he's banned for the rest of the playoffs. Yeah. Rightfully so.
Yeah, maybe that's their good luck charm. Just keep him away. Just keep him away. Yeah, but I don't know. Like this series, obviously, I know less about this one than the previous series, just because I get so much Knicks Nets in my atmosphere because of Mike and Alex. But I do know, you mentioned Halliburton. He's really kind of controlled this game. He's kind of dictating the tempo, spacing the floor, creating mismatches. Cleveland hasn't really figured out how to contain him, or even, at the very least, how to make him uncomfortable. He's kind of doing what he wants to do right now.
Yeah, they're running up and down, and they just got more guys that can get up and down the court and score at this point. Cavs and Garland to come back. I don't know when he's coming back or how effective he's going to be, but yeah, they need to get their guys back and try to stop. And I think Cleveland likes to run a little bit too, but they're going to need to slow down the pace for this series and just be the better team. I haven't looked at their prices yet, but I mean, it's crazy that we've had 7 games in the second round and only one home team has won. That was last night. The Thunder finally did what the Celtics should have did. I fell asleep on that one. That's the good thing about tonight. One game starts at 8:30. I can watch the whole thing instead of fall asleep at halftime and waking up pissed off. I wasn't mad last night because it was 148 to, I don't know, they won by like over 40. And it was 30, 40-point game for most of the game. So Thunder back to looking like the favorite. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, like the start time of these damn games. You mentioned one game tonight, Warriors and Timberwolves tonight, 8:30 tip off there. But yeah, like obviously I've been watching more of the NHL, the Stanley Cup playoffs there, and like tonight, starting in just a couple of minutes, we got Washington and Carolina. But the late game tonight, you got the Oilers and the Golden Knights. That starts at 10:30. 9:30. These Edmonton games, though, some of them started at like 10 or 4. They're killing me. And I love to watch the Oilers play, but they're just absolutely killing me with these start times. I'm old, man. I ain't 22 anymore. I can't pull an all-nighter no more. I don't got it in me. I'm broken down. I'm Aaron Rodgers. Time caught up with me fast,
Yeah, we got to we got to get these TVs to start turning off when we fall asleep. It needs to know somehow. That way the ratings will come down, and then maybe they'll push things back an hour or forward an hour.
So you want a dead man switch for the television essentially. When you keel over on
Exactly.
the couch, TV just goes off. Yeah. Well, they got
Yeah,
those installed
exactly.
on boats, and maybe we can get one on the TV eventually here. Well, speaking of dead man, moving on from some of the sports stuff here, we got a raccoon doing drugs that we got to talk about, Scotty. And for that, we have to go into our weird news, brought to you by no one. That song's a club banger right now. It's like number 3 on the Slovenian pop charts right now. All the 23-year-old
Yeah.
girls in the Slovenian clubs are banging to that song right now. But all right,
I was gonna say that one of the clubs in the Matrix be playing that.
very well, very true. Red pill or blue pill? Actually, we're going to stay away from that. I just learned about the red pill online the other day too. That's a whole different area of Twitter there, so we'll stay away from that. All right, but let's get into it. So, have you been to Ohio? You ever spent much time there?
I've never been.
Yeah, well, consider yourself lucky. It's an awful, terrible place. It smells terrible. Literally, when you get off of the plane in Cleveland, it smells like trash and
The
pollution
animals are having
and broken
fun, aren't they?
dreams. Oh well, the animals are coping. You have to cope. Like this raccoon here. His name is Chewy. I forget where in Ohio this was, but Chewy's owner was stopped during a traffic stop, and it was a traumatic time for Chewy. And not we don't always make positive choices when we're coping with stress or whatever issues there may be. Some people choose drugs, and, like weed. Some people choose alcohol. Some people gamble. Some people have a sex addiction. Chewy apparently likes meth.
Okay.
This is what she's smoking meth in.
Okay.
The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe.
All right.
Oh, there's no.
So you want
He's
to
trying to
here.
smoke it.
All right. Thanks.
There's no way. All right. Enough fun and games.
Courtesy of
There was a
NBC
net.
News there.
Yeah, there was a net up in the passenger window. What is going on with that car?
There's
Is it a mailman?
Wait, there's a net in the passenger window?
It looked like it to me.
Well, let's take
Okay.
This is what she's smoking meth in.
Okay.
The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe.
All right.
Yeah,
You're
you see
right.
it?
I tried to pause it. Wouldn't pause. You're right. There is a net. Maybe they're a big NASCAR fan. I didn't even notice that. Which doing the meth can go hand in hand with that for Chewy. But
Oh, never mind. I know why that's there. If you
Is
see
it-
the car and it's got a meth pipe and raccoons in it, that window broke and they couldn't afford to fix it. That's what that is.
oh, good call. And rather than go with the plastic bag in the window route, they chose the NASCAR like mesh net that the drivers. That's
Yeah.
hey, if it's good enough for Dale Jr., it's good enough for Chewy. Do you think that Chewy went to rehab? Like, are they going to get Chewy help? I mean, this raccoon is literally trying to hit this meth pipe.
No. How could you even tell if raccoons are already goofy?
That's very true, Scotty. They're sketchy enough, as it very well may be, and I can only imagine how much more sketch their behavior is. Raccoons already like steal. Like, what do meth addicts do? They steal copper wire and stuff like that. Raccoons, maybe it was their destiny all along. They already steal. They're very sketchy. Like maybe it was just Chewy's destiny. And I love the cop,
know.
by the way, who's just cracking up. This cop is literally like in stitches laughing at this poor person's about to go to jail. They got pulled over. They're about to go to jail. And this cop is just cracking up at your raccoon hitting the meth pipe.
Yeah, and it obviously made him comfortable with humans. He did not give a shit.
No. Chewy didn't give a fuck.
He's just smoking his meth. Nothing gets between a raccoon and his meth. So they're just like people, I guess.
What did they used to say? Like, honey badger don't care, honey badger don't give a fuck, whatever. Chewy
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck at all whatsoever. Is
No.
that the most like? I'm trying to think. Did you see that movie Cocaine Bear?
I did.
I like imagine
Yeah,
like
it wasn't bad.
It was not. It wasn't bad at all. But a bear on coke is obviously like a terrible killing machine. Um, a raccoon on meth is really sketchy. I'm trying to think like PETA's gonna love this segment, by the way. I'm trying to think like other animals and like drugs that would go along. Like I feel like if a dog had weed, it would just be really chill. Dogs chill anyway, and they would just kind of like sleep and eat, which is what dogs do anyway.
I'm
Um,
sure there's a lot of people out there that get their dogs high
oh,
when they're
those
smoking.
awful people. I'm sure. Yeah, they're just catching contacts everywhere. Uh, I'm trying to think though. Like I was thinking about this earlier. This is what I do during the day when I should be working. Um, and it came to my mind that like a lion, like lions are scary enough, right? They're really bad. I don't know if I want a lion on drugs. Could you imagine like a lion on like PCP? A
Give
lion
them
with
some
like
acid.
yeah, a lion that's tripping. Like Doc Holliday threw a no hitter for the Pirates on acid, and he said like he didn't see anything. It was just like color blotches and stuff. And I don't know how fast he was throwing back then, but imagine some guy is on the mound humming a baseball. He doesn't even see you. He's just throwing at shapes and colors. Now imagine a killing machine that's a lion on on acid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's super unpredictable,
yeah.
especially in the
Just
wild.
getting out there. So,
Give him some mushrooms.
yeah. Do you think Chewy is an Ohio State fan? The raccoon.
Either that or Akron.
Ooh, I'm glad you mentioned Akron because Chewy raccoons are they smart? I mean, I know they can use like opposable thumbs and they can figure out how to get into some things, but like, are they considered smart animals? Like pigs are smart.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them when they get caught and they kind of just freeze, like you can't see them?
Oh yeah, someone like grabs them by like the nape of the neck or something. They just kind of like, I'm not
Well,
even.
no, they could be. I've seen a video and they're in somebody's backyard, and somebody turns the lights on and says, "Hey," and then they just freeze, and one's standing up like a human, and he's just frozen with his hands up like this, not moving, like he's at
Well,
like we're T Rexes or something.
well, you mentioned the raccoon not moving. Akron football players are not moving across the stage to graduate because their APR, what was it, like 914 or something like that, which I don't even know how the fuck APR is calculated and stuff in the NCAA, but
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
yeah, it's
Average what?
I have no idea, but apparently it's not good. We all know if you're going to a school in the state of Ohio that's not Ohio State, you're not smart. Number one, Akron's probably toward the bottom of that list. And yeah, this reminded me of King of Hill. Remember when Bobby was offending those people? And it's like, if these kids could read, they would be really upset right now. And if you can read this, like take off the banner. But yes, Akron's been banned from bowl games this year because of their APR rates. So if these kids could read, they'd be very upset. Which Akron, this isn't really a punishment. Akron wasn't going to go to a bowl anyway. How many bowls do you think Akron football's been to in their history?
6. I have no idea.
Let's take a look here. Our handy dandy research on the fly. They've been playing football.
Help these guys out, LeBron.
They've been playing football for 134 years since 1891. Their current coach is Joe Moorhead. You might remember him from I think the Patriots and Mississippi State as well. He is in his 4th season. He's 8-28 at Akron right now. Akron,
Nice.
1891 has been to 3 bowl games. They're 1-2 all time in bowl games. So
Gave him too much credit.
not exactly a storied football factory there, which is even sad, which is even worse if you think about it. Because like Dexter Manley went to like Oklahoma State and allegedly graduated and was illiterate, right? You've heard all the stories with the SEC schools back in the day and all this stuff, but at least they're winning. You can't like be stupid and bad. Just it doesn't go hand in hand. It's like you can't be an asshole and be fat, which is me.
Well,
Like you can't have those two. Like you got to have something redeeming. Akron has nothing.
yeah, there is. Well, I'm not going to get in that. kind of offensive.
He took
I
a
won't go there.
knee. He pulled it out. Let's not
Yeah.
do this. Okay. Speaking of let's not do this, real quick. It's a sports thing, but since we're on it, NFL, for the love of fucking Christ, stop with drawing out the schedule. I saw this a little while ago. Have you seen this? May 14th, they're gonna release the schedule. But leading up to it, we're gonna get select games on select days coming out. The Today Show, because that's a big NFL focus group. They're going to have a game revealed on Monday the 12th. Fox is getting one on Monday the 12th. It doesn't even say what show. Like, is this just going to come on whatever the hell Fox has at 7 o'clock at night on TV? Or is it Fox News? It doesn't say Fox News. It just says Fox.
Yeah, this is Fox.
A Simpsons rerun.
Probably in the
and,
morning.
like whatever, like your local Fox 2 Memphis, all of a sudden in the bottom of the screen. Jaguars playing blah, blah, blah in London. Prime Video, same thing. Like you're watching a movie on Prime, it's just going to pop up during the middle of the movie. You're watching, like, Jason Bourne. He goes to kill someone. Hey, Ravens playing in Guatemala. I don't know. It makes no sense. Just put the fucking schedule out.
Yeah, it's already the most overrated thing in sports anyways, because we already know the matchups. You're just telling us when they're playing. So who really gives a shit? Other than the Thanksgiving games, that's the only thing I look at. In the primetime games to see how many games Washington will have. Other than that, who really cares who plays when? Doesn't matter.
Then we got a ton of games outside the country. I guess we'll figure out what's going on as I'm dying here slowly in all of those. Which, by the way, I love the Steelers are going to Ireland, and that's maybe that's the real reason why George Pickens got traded to Dallas. Maybe he just didn't want to go to Ireland. Maybe he doesn't want a united Ireland. Maybe George Pickens is part of the Orange Order or something. Maybe he didn't want that.
Yeah, we come to a trade deal with the UK, and then look at these three shit teams we're sending over there.
yes.
That's why they got it done when they did. Like,
hey,
we can't let them see this.
Say what you will about the president. He did write that book, The Art of the Deal, right? He definitely screwed over the UK, sending the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Jets. Hey, we're going to work together on trade, but we're going to give you the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Jets for games. Enjoy, guys.
And then Brazil gets one game; they get the Chargers.
Yeah, well, and
The best
by
team
the
on
way,
this list.
no one cares about the Chargers in America. Definitely no one's going to care about the Chargers in Brazil. So,
Yeah, that's the one game I want to watch though. More for the shots to the crowd than anything else, but it'll be a fun one.
we need a little that might be perverted sound in there. All right, one last thing before we get out of here. So AI, real quick. I am
My favorite thing.
I'm like actually choking and dying. I might actually perish on the air. You might have to have AI resurrect
I was
me.
gonna say, let's say if you do.
Yeah.
You get-
This is what happens when I don't drink alcohol during the show. You see Futurama? It's like Bender. Bender gets hammered when he doesn't drink. This is me. I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, and it's fucking killing me.
Back when I used to bowl, I had somebody on my team that was alcoholic, and we got to the. It was the first year we ever bowled in the league. We got to the championship, and he decided to detox that week. And showed up, couldn't keep the ball. He was the best bowler on our team. He couldn't keep the ball in the lane. So yeah, we came in second place.
He was your Barrett Robbins, wasn't that the Raiders center who like disappeared to Tijuana before the Super Bowl or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, AI. I don't have the clip. I wish I had it. NBA is going back to NBC and like a part of a package deal next season. And the guy who voiced the NBA on NBC promos, he's been dead for some time. I want to say like 05 or whatever. Well, they used his voice in the promos for the NBA on NBC. They used AI to like recreate it. And while it's cool from like a nostalgic standpoint, it got me thinking like it's a little weird. Like is the family being compensated? Is someone being compensated? His estate?
That's what I was going to ask. If the family's being compensated, then I'm cool with it. Otherwise, it's just weird. There's a couple Black Mirror shows that are kind of about this subject,
Yeah,
bringing
and
AI back for dead people and stuff.
I actually have the clip here. If we can bring that in, of course, without me dying. All right, here we go.
The NBA on NBC is back. See you this October for the NBA season tip-off.
And we just got demonetized again.
Yeah. Hey, it was on X. I think we'll be okay. Goddamn Cracker Barrel fucked us over last week with a whatever
Yeah.
Dan and Shay song. Hey, Dan and Shay, you suck. I hate you. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's cool. It's great to hear his voice and see the NBA on NBC and all that stuff again. The John Tesh commercials and all that's kind of cool. I won't watch, but it's cool to see it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Like, imagine if somebody came out with a movie right now in 2025 and like there's a love scene and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that guy's banging Marilyn Monroe, like an AI Marilyn Monroe, you know?
Yeah, that's too much. I would say it's just like cartoons, but at least with cartoons, somebody's getting paid to do the voices. This is just ripping off everything, just trying to save money so you don't have to pay actors. Yeah, I don't like it. And you can portray them however you want. Unless you're paying that person, but obviously if they're dead, you can't. But as long as you're paying that person and they approve of everything that's going on with them in the movie, that's one thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's a slippery slope. It's stupid. I don't like it.
I just thought about something terrible here. This shows also how old I am. Did you ever watch?
So there is
Sanford and
a
Son?
no, real quick before you get into that.
Yeah.
So the Black Mirror, one of the Black Mirror episodes that I was talking about, it's Selma Hayek and somebody else, but they basically, if you sign up for, it wasn't Netflix, well, it might have been Netflix. It was some streaming service on that show that if you sign up and the hidden agreement or whatever, it says they can use your likeness. So everybody that has Netflix, they can use an AI version of you to make whatever movie or show, and then it just goes from there. But yeah, seems like they were telling the future. I don't like it. Yeah,
So
Sanford and Son.
yeah. So I'll be recast as James Bond then at some point. When they want to use my likeness, that'll be great. You know, diversify it anyway. You know, switch it up. But yeah. Did you ever watch Sanford and Son?
Yeah, every now and then I've seen a handful of episodes.
You know, remember the whole running gag was like Red Fox, you know, his character, you know, I'm coming, Elizabeth. He was always faking having a heart attack, which ironically, I think he actually did die from a heart attack. So immediately with this AI thing, it got me thinking, like, how can we use this, right? Imagine it's like 3 a.m. You just got home from the bar maybe 45 minutes ago. You're sitting there, you're drunk, you're eating Taco Bell. All of a sudden, you see an American Heart Association infomercial come up with Red Fox from Beyond the Grave, AI, talking about the importance of, like, you know, heart disease and heart disease prevention. Like, a little morbid, right? But it could work.
Yeah, I don't hate it for commercials. You're only doing 20, 30 seconds. That's fine. It's not for a whole movie. But yeah, they brought Mr. Miyagi back as AI already in Cobra Kai for a short clip.
Really? He was dead?
It was
He
weird.
died?
Yeah, Pat Morita died. When did he die?
Dude, I've never seen the original Karate Kid. I know of it, but I've never seen it. I have like a massive hole when it comes to like movies and stuff. Like
In your
I've never
brain.
seen
Yeah,
I've
we
never
get it.
seen Star Wars. But you know, largely
Yeah,
because
he died back in 05.
oh wow, maybe him and the NBA on NBC guy went together. They both died in 05.
It might be.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked up is he doesn't have that Asian accent. Because he was born here, he talks. Well, I don't know if he was born here, but he doesn't have an accent. But in all the Karate Kid
That might
movies,
be
it's
racist.
super. Yeah, it is.
You know what? I gotta give it to you again.
That might be racist.
Yeah, it says it here. He's an American actor, but in Karate Kid, he's He's got that accent going.
No, I know what you're saying. Though I was watching a travel show the other day, and they were in a pub, and I forget what country it was, but there was a guy who is, British, like national, but obviously his heritage, he wasn't from there, and you were expecting something else to come out of this guy's mouth, and when he opened his mouth and started talking, it was the most Cockney, East End, London. I mean, he sounded like a proper West Ham fan, like just the way he was talking. You looked at the guy who was like, it would be like if I had like a deep Southern drawl, like it wouldn't make sense, right? Yeah,
It's always funny to see these actors that you don't know are British when they talk in real life. Like, oh shit, didn't know that.
yeah.
There's a video. It's a white girl that I don't know if did we play it on here? I don't know if we played it on here, but it's a Russian girl that she came to Jamaica when she was young, but she learned all of her English in Jamaica. So she has like a super
Dude.
Jamaican accent, and everybody thinks it's fake. And it's like, nah, this is where she learned how to speak English. So that's how she talks, like for real. She's not like faking anything. But it's pretty wild to watch her just talk because you're like, what the fuck?
Well, if she's faking the accent, she could be faking other things, especially if she's with Chris.
I'll send you the video. I thought we might have shown it on here. Maybe not.
We may have. Well, we talked about AI. You sent this story over a little while ago of I'd never seen this before. This is from the Guardian, so you know it's good. But apparently, there was a dead Arizona road rage victim who addressed his killer in court. This guy died in 2021, and they had an AI model of him address the court.
This is fucking creepy. So they have so I guess they fed it videos because they have a video or two of him in real life, but it's in between his AI talking. It's fucking weird.
That is the weirdest thing. I'm trying to get this to play just to play a snippet of it, but I'm getting a Hatch green chili commercial instead.
I was gonna say it gave me an ad first when I watched it earlier.
Okay, so here's
about 30 seconds. It was a road rage incident, and the guy shot him, and he died. And now his AI is coming back to address the killer. I guess in trial.
At what level does this does this stop? Do you have like Abraham Lincoln show up to really tell us what happened? Well, I was just trying to watch the play, and next thing I know, six Tyrannus,
Just wait for future elections. They're going to be bringing George Washington to endorse people.
Dude, I would vote for AI George Washington over some of the choices that we get. I would definitely do that. But all right, here's this poor gentleman. I feel bad for him that passed away in 2021 in a road rage incident. Here's his AI that they played in court. If we could take a look here, and there we go.
Hello. Just to be clear for everyone seeing this, I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile. I was able to be digitally regenerated to share with you today. But here is insight into who I actually was in real life. Take a look.
All right, I'm Chris Pelkey. I served with the United States Army in the infantry. I'm from upstate New York.
I don't need to play this whole thing there, but thank you for your service.
Go forward a little bit to where it picks back up the AI because I think he's creepier in the second half.
Okay, I've skipped forward in time a little bit here, and the
worst part is he's like apologetic. Like you don't know if he was going to be like that. I'm sure he's pissed off that he got shot and died.
Yeah,
I think an AI version of him saying forgive him.
9 to 10. So I would like to make my own impact statement. So, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. It means a lot. I can't tell you how humbled I am for those that spoke up for me, everyone who flew in.
This is so weird.
Took off work, those watching this remotely,
creepy.
And for everyone who has supported my family and loved ones through 3.5 years and 2 trials.
Oh,
I wish I could be with you all today.
All right, I gotta. Okay, it's really creeping me out. I'm sorry, I gotta stop that. Dude, that is so creepy.
Hey man, when I die, go ahead and make an AI video, but make me just like roasting myself and everybody else. And if somebody kills me, I want to roast that person,
Well,
whoever my murderer is. Make fun of
don't
them.
don't worry about it. When you do kick the bucket, I already have the roaster lined up. He's very young right now, but I think you know who he is. We used to see him
Yeah.
all the time doing this show. Our former studio host, his kid, who would always abuse us every week verbally. I think he'll be more than happy
Yeah.
to roast you.
His dad actually texted me the other day, a couple days ago. I told him I hope his son gets him something for Mother's Day.
There we go. All right, and on that unfortunate note, we'll go ahead and put a bow on this. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and especially Scotty's mom, because well, look at Scotty. She had to put up with him for all these many years. So, happy Mother's Day to you. I know you're out there watching.
And Chris.
Oh yeah, and Chris. Yeah, that's Chris's mom. You know what? You're a saint, ma'am. You're an absolute saint. And I'm sorry for how your child turned out, but it's okay. But yes,
No,
so
it's not.
yeah, no, it's not actually. He's got black tar lungs without ever going into a coal mine. It's crazy. But yes, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Make sure to call your moms, buy your moms good stuff, take them out to eat, all that fun stuff, or just not be a shithead. Whatever gives them less stress on their day, go ahead and do that. So make sure to tune in Saturday morning, 9 a.m. for the next installment of Get Loose podcast. We'll break down some motor racing news. We got little changes in F1. Of course, an off week for them, but doesn't stop the drama. Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari, Alpine changing everything. Excuse me, I really am dying here. We got all that going on, and plus we got NASCAR as well, so we'll get into the bets for that. We're staying hot, man. By the way, I think I got Jack Doohan fired. I put in for the bet that I hit last week. He would be the first driver to retire last week in F1, and he got in a wreck on the opening lap. He was retired in lap 2, and he was dropped by Alpine earlier in the week. So kiss of death for me at that point. So yeah.
I didn't know most of those words, but congratulations.
Don't worry. Not knowing words is like Chris in a middle school classroom. I don't know these words, but I'm going to make my mark on my paper, turn it in and get a 27. That's why he's picking up roadkill on the side of the road right now. So
That's how I graduated.
yeah, barely. All right. Well, until next time, we'll see you. Aloha means goodbye.